Yes, I've been a pro fighter since 2009, but I've been a martial arts instructor since something like 2000. And something that I continually find myself doing is making 3 vital corrections on beginners when they're throwing their cross. 3 things that they keep doing over the last 20 plus years. I go, okay, I'm going to teach, same mistake. Same mistake, same mistake. Join for this episode so that by the end you are not making these errors. I've had so many people message me chomping at the bit to join my defense course. If you missed it, we did a live component to it, and that was back earlier in the year. If you missed it, no big deal. It is available again. I'm going to have a link in the description below. You can head over to vargacombat.com online course, which features over 30 videos, and we are doing partner drills, solo training at home, teaching you how I won all these belts and how I've minimized impact, how I stay safe. So much to learn here. People loved it. I'm sure you will as well. vargacombat.com. Get your defense course today. Let's start off with point number 1. The biggest error that I see people make time and time again, and this one really bugs me because I'm a real stickler for balance. If you don't have balance, you don't have power. So when people go, okay, I want to throw my punch, they lean forward. They lean forward because they want to get more range out of their punch. But what this does is it off balances you. You want more like 50-50 between your feet, not more like 90-10. And when people get 90-10, this back leg will start scooting across. And I can right away tell as soon as this foot moves that you're not in a good stance. But be very aware that as you throw your cross, your back foot is not shuffling in. I'm trying to keep my weight fairly centered as I do it, but most times people lean, and then it becomes much easier for that foot to slide. Seen it so many times. Correct it almost weekly on people just going, oh, you're doing it again. Get that on point, and it's just going to continue to happen. But if you log it into your head, you go, okay, this is something I don't want to do. My balance should be a little bit more evenly dispersed. Then you will feel that back foot clamp down into the ground. And even if you do lean a little bit forward to close off distance, you're still going to have more like 30-40% of the weight on that back foot digging in, and it won't slide. You don't want a stance changing mid-punch because you went from, okay, this was my ideal stance, all of a sudden, this is not your ideal stance, or you would have been there before. And if you're somebody who does go from more of this bladed stance, then you're going to end up going across. And I have seen people finish their punch and end up with their feet literally crisscrossed. So let's cut that one out, guys, and stop doing it. Big mistake number 2 that I see time and time again is the chin. Now I know you're thinking, oh, okay, what does the chin have to do with anything? But it's whatever position we have our head in before we throw. We don't want the head to nod up. And again, this happens a lot, especially with people who try to keep their chin really tucked and they get the lift. If you have your head more neutral, it's just subtle. But as that chin rises, you expose yourself, right? We have our chin tucked for a reason, or if your head's more neutral, lifting it up is really going to put you in a compromised position. So be very aware of the whole body. That's a hard thing to do when you're starting, but very aware of the whole body so that when you throw a shot, your head is not doing anything except staying in the same position it was in terms of this motion. Of course, your head can turn a little bit. You don't have to keep your eyes completely centered as your shoulders twist. Feel free to turn that head sideways, but never up. You've seen that time and time again. High level fights, somebody throws a shot, their chin just rises a little bit, and then they get caught and it's lights out. We do not want that mistake. And if you guys have been eyeballing these awesome gloves, it's quite the pattern. These are from X Martial. They have fantastic gear. In the past, I mostly talked about their awesome shorts and their fantastic creative rash guards, but they've branched out. They got the gloves now. I've been rocking a pair of shin pads for my sparring for over a year now. They're holding up great, and I cannot recommend these guys enough. Again, a link in the description below where you can save 10% if you use my promo code Gabriel Varga. Let's move on to the third and final massive mistake, which happens. We were just talking about how the chin naturally can rise up, but we don't want to make changes as we throw a shot. Well, we don't want our hand coming down. Now, for all the guys out there who are going, oh, I already know this, exit video, stick around for a second. There's an additional point I want you to know. It's not always just down, which is incorrect. There's something else, which is very important. But in general, for the people who are beginners, they'll have their hands up. They're like, okay, I got my chin tucked, my feet are planted, I go to throw my shot, and this hand draws down. And even people who have been training for years, I still see them do this. It's very hard to throw a shot, have this hand come down, and then go, oh, he's throwing back at me. Correct. Try and correct that hand. No, you're better off just keeping it right where it should be, close to the head, or a little bit further out if you're somebody who likes to catch with forearms. Talk about that in the defense course, kind of Russian style catching. It's very good stuff to learn. But what you can also do in terms of errors, not just pulling down, you can pull too far back. And I've seen people do this so many times. Hands are up, they pull back to here. But now you've still exposed your jaw. You want to keep this arm tight enough so if anything comes to the front of your face from the side, you are protecting from it. Easier said than done to get all of these on point. If you're somebody who's at advanced level, you're going, this is easy stuff. But anybody who's beginner or intermediate, you'd be surprised how often these little errors will come up. And they'll get more and more subtle the longer you go. Maybe when you see somebody start, they're doing something like this, and then after a week or two, it's just tiny. Or then they start really tucking their chin, and it just does this. But even that is a big danger. Even having your hand come back to here instead of here is a big danger. So really work to correct these guys. They will assist you so much. And of course, keep in mind, we're specifically talking about the cross, but really any punch can have these same errors. The one in particular, though, that really focuses on the cross is that foot sliding. That seems to be very focused in on the cross, at least from me observing others throwing as an instructor. Let's call it everybody. Thanks for joining today. I will see you back here soon for another video.